Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Learn English with Orwell. Today we have episode 3. Brief recap of last episode. We combed through more data to discover that Cassandra was potentially guilty of assaulting the police officer and definitely has a hand in something to do with the attack. We don't know for sure what, but we know that she's involved in some way, and so we gave our evidence to the people above us, the higher ups, and they made the decision to arrest Cassandra as a potential suspect in the bombing of Freedom Plaza. In the process of doing that, we discovered that there was another terrorist attack, and with Cassandra already in custody, we don't know who caused that attack. So we don't know if she is involved, or maybe she is involved and there's other people involved as well. We're going to find out today. So let's get logged in here. Let's see. Okay. We're back in here. We have some new people of interest. Goldfels, who's this leader of the Thought, which is some sort of group involved with the terrorist attacks. We got Harrison O'Donnell, who is the lead singer or something. Maybe he's a guitar player of this band that Cassandra Watergate likes, that seemingly recruited her to join Goldfels. We got Mary Bly, who's a friend, Juliet Carrington, who's a friend, Joseph Langley is the boyfriend. Okay, let's look at the reader. Okay, we got a lot of stuff to read here. This is the day after. This is April 14th, it says right here. So the last day was April 13th. So we have some new stuff to read. We have a number of new things to read. Let's look at the police database first. This is an arrest record for Cassandra for yesterday, since we had her arrested yesterday. Bonton database arrest record. She was charged with assault on a police officer. Don't know recons, what that means. Maybe it means reconsidered. So like, she originally was let off for attacking a police officer, but if you remember, it was just it was dropped because of lack of evidence. It wasn't that she was exonerated by a court. She never went to the court. So in the U.S., there's two ways that a crime can play out. If you're charged with a crime and then there's not enough evidence, the police or whoever's charging with the crime, it's usually the police, can drop the charges and you're free to go. Or they can proceed and you go to court. And if you go to court, you do the whole trial. You've probably seen that on TV if you've ever watched like Law and Order or CSI, any of those shows. You go to court, and then all the evidence is presented, and then the jury brings back a decision. And if you're not guilty, if the decision is guilty or not guilty, if you're not guilty, you're free to go, and also you can never be charged with the crime again. It's a constitutional right called double jeopardy, and it means that once you're free of a crime, once you've been exonerated of a crime, you cannot be recharged with the same crime. But that doesn't apply if they drop the charges. If they drop the charges and you're free to go, you have not gone to court, and so you can still be charged at a later date if more evidence comes up and they decide to prosecute you again. So it looks like she was free to go because of lack of evidence. So I'm guessing they reopened the case. The suspect was arrested in her flat. She willingly opened the door and cooperated with the arresting officer after having her warrant announced and her rights read to her. So having your rights read to you is also in the Constitution. We call them the Miranda rights. They are, I'm trying to remember, it's sometimes hard to remember them. The right to remain silent, the right to an attorney, and if you do not have the money for an attorney, one will be appointed for you by the state. Those are the three Miranda rights. they are in the Constitution. You have the right to remain silent. You don't have to speak to the police officers because anything you... Oh, and the other thing in the Miranda rights is anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. So the right to remain silent is because if you say anything, you could incriminate yourself. You could give away evidence against yourself, and you don't want to do that. So they tell all people that they're being arrested that that's happening. Okay. We got another headline. Let's read the connection between Bonton bombings evident. Okay. Let's read more here. Attacks against Stelligan University in Bonton and Freedom Plaza are connected, experts conclude. So this was the one that just happened yesterday, and then the Freedom one was the one we were discussing yesterday. The bombing that occurred yesterday at Stelligan University seems to be connected to the attack against the Freedom Plaza earlier this week. This is the conclusion of the police division who is investigating the cases. In both assaults, a similar explosive device created with pure malevolence appeared to have been used, police spokeswoman Steele said. Pure malevolence means like evil, created with just the intent to harm. The letters received prior to the assaults seem to support this suspicion, while their meaning is still puzzling investigators. According to rumors, people have been theorizing the number of stanzas might represent the number of bombings, which in turn raises the question whether there might be another bombing yet to occur. So that the letters have been referencing the stanzas, the sections of this song called "The Thoughts Are Free," and there are 3 stanzas, and there's been 2 bombings. So they're trying to say that maybe there's going to be a 3rd bombing, one for each stanza. Okay. We understand that some people jump to this conclusion, but there's no good reason to believe this, Steele answered when confronted with this theory during a press conference. So the police are saying, we don't know if that's true. Just hold your horses. Hold your horses means like stop. Just stop. You don't know anything, so just stop. It's wild. This wild theory maybe it doesn't go anywhere. Meanwhile, Stelligan University has declared that normal operation cannot continue under the circumstances, so they will be closing their doors for the time being. So this university is going to shut down. The university has also put up a special front page to pay their respects to the assault victims. See above image. So these are people holding... Often when tragedies happen in the U.S., people bring... It's called a candlelight vigil. You bring a candle, and it's to honor the dead, the people that have died. Okay. I don't see much evidence here. There's another headline. Okay, we got a couple more headlines, yeah. Timelines and Rosen announce cooperation. The Davenport siblings, owners of the biggest social network Timelines, announced major cooperation with software giant Rosen Technologies. Timelines is like this game's version of Facebook. It's a big deal. The internet billionaire siblings Ada and Alan Davenport, creators and owners of the most important online social network Timelines, located in Hilbury, are starting a major cooperation with the Bonton software giant Rosen Technologies. This has been announced in a press statement given out on Friday by the PR departments of both companies simultaneously. A cooperation just means they're working together. They're going to join forces. By utilizing the existing infrastructure and software development capacities of Rosen Tech, Timelines will be able to respond to the needs and requirements of the quickly changing digital world in real time. So they're going to use Rosen Tech's technology to make Timelines better. Timelines executive Ada Davenport is quoted, "Our growing user base will profit from this by significantly reduced downtimes, tightened security, and a sped up integration of new features," she continued. Okay, I don't know if there's anything else we need to know here. Heavy rainstorms expected for the weekend. This is just a weather report, I think. Yeah, I don't think we need to read the weather report. Okay. I think we need to start a profile of this person named Goldfels. Nope, not possible. Wrong profile. How do I... Goldfels, here we go. Let's start a profile of Goldfels. This person seems to be the architect of all of this, is what we would say. The person who's built it all. It's his plan. An architect is someone who designs things like buildings or doors or what. They build everything pretty much. So to call someone the architect of something means it's their master plan. Okay, we have his portrait. Whoops. Let's go to his entry, Our Thoughts Free. Yeah. He references this German folk song that whoever's doing the bombings is sending letters with the German folk song in them. So it's a good bet that he might be the person sending the letters. The letter. We are right, it seems. Okay. Let's see what we got here. We didn't actually read all of this before, I don't think. So here's this is the three stanzas. So this is a stanza. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3 stanzas. So the theory is that there's one bombing, 2 bombings, and then a third bombing. When I was still young, long before I immigrated to the nation in 1993. So he came here in 1993. An immigrant. Yeah, this doesn't look good. I believe this to be a universal truth, that there are no borders for thoughts and no rules for what is or what is not allowed to be thought. This is very philosophical. This was not because I thought people should be so tolerant. Not at all. Instead, I simply held it dear that nobody except for ourselves really knows what is going on in our heads until we chose to reveal it. So this is kind of a big theme in the book 1984, which this game is based on. In 1984, there's these people called the Thought Police. And paraphrasing a lot, you should read the book if you haven't, it's really good. But they basically are trying to police what you're saying in your head. They're trying to control what you're saying. Because truly, no one can really know what's going on in your head. We don't have the ability to read people's minds. But that's the last place you're free, is inside your head. Yesterday, a question crossed my mind. If the increasing interconnectedness of humans via modern technologies serves more and more as a collective memory and brain of our society, and there is an institution that is capable of monitoring every bit stream of it, how can thoughts still be free? Okay, this is pretty complicated philosophical language, but he's basically saying, with all the social networks and all the computers, everyone's typing everything they're saying. It's going online. And then we have people like us in the game, the Orwell people, are seeing all of this, seeing all the thoughts we're putting out there. Those thoughts are no longer free because they're being monitored by the government. It is not likely that we will communicate only under great mental Is it not likely that we will communicate only under great mental reservation to hold on to our knowledge, which means as a final consequence, we will stop thinking. So he's saying if you know you're being watched, you're going to say what you say carefully, and as a result, you're not free to express yourself. When I think of the increasingly aggressive operations of the surveillance machinery in the nation, I truly fear the answer to this question. That's why I created this blog. The Thought, an activist group with the same name as this blog. If Goldfels is the one who created the blog, perhaps he founded or even was the leader of the activist group. That's what I meant. He's the architect. I want to encourage alternatives to the total control and safety bigotry of this digital world. Bigotry is discrimination. Okay. What do we got now? Entry 8. We already looked at entry 8, I remember. Uh-oh, we got some conflicting data. We got a lot of stuff to add here. Okay. Thought Must Change Direction. Published last year, just under a year ago. After 1.5 years recruiting 2 of my students and arranging 3 demonstrations like the one held at Freedom Plaza. So he arranged the demonstration at Freedom Plaza that the assault that Cassandra was involved with happened at. Cassandra might be a puppet. She might not be directly involved. 3 demonstrations. More interesting might be that 2 of the students seem to be involved. Yeah, 2 students are involved. Frankly and sadly, the answer to the latter is a resounding no. We let ourselves be consumed by anger and hatred towards those we thought to do us wrong. Thoughts are free, but that does in no way mean that they can attack and do whatever they wish. Instead of blaming others, I now see my high aims might well be the cause of all the events of the past months. More than anyone else have thought, I feel responsible. So he regrets the violence that happened at these protests. So we have to add one of these. I'm going to add this one. A troubled past. We will have to get to the bottom of this. So troubled past means something bad in the past happened. As a consequence, I will halt my active engagement in this group. So he's stopping his activity. I firmly believe it shall be for the better of everyone involved, especially my students from Stelligan. Okay. Whatever active engagement means, still an interesting fact. So his students were at Stelligan, which is the university that was just bombed. So maybe someone's trying to get back at him. What now, Stelligan? The same Stelligan where a bomb just exploded? You know what I think about coincidences. I won't repeat it. So far, the evidence suggests that Goldfels was a prominent lecturer at Stelligan, and some of his students became involved in thought. Did he, recruit them for his cause? We need to identify those students, see who else is involved with the group. And then there's a comment by Concerned One. Please reconsider. Guy hurt there was only a goddamn cop. They had it coming for long. It was messy, I know, all the way back to the thing I messed up organizing. But hell, look at the bright side. We made the news. This is what we wanted. What you wanted. So someone is telling him, please reconsider. Don't leave thought. They don't care that it was because it was a cop that was hurt. A police officer. Okay. What's this overview here? I don't know if there's anything here. Because these don't lead anywhere. Right? Suspect of Bonton bombing arrested. What is this? Oh no, we this is a article about what we did. We arrested Cassandra yesterday. A couple of minutes ago, the Bonton Police Department reported that an arrest in connection with the recent bombings in the capital has been made. A young woman has been brought into custody thanks to investigative efforts of a special task force. That's us. Police spokesman Kaufman said. How the woman is related to the bomb attacks Kaufman did not cover. However, it is rumored that the suspect is well known to authorities by other incidents. Okay. We already looked at that. It still says there's something to explore here in the overview. What is there to see? Because if we go to these, they're archived. Is there another link somewhere? I don't think so. Yeah, none of these do anything if you click on that. Okay, the star went away. Let's look at this memorial. Okay, there's a memorial. Okay. I'm not sure. to read all this. Maybe this will give us some evidence. This is Stelligan University's website. Maybe this will give us some evidence of what we have to of the students, because he mentioned there were 2 students. So let's see. Bomb assault on Stelligan campus closed until further notice. Yesterday evening, an explosive device went off on Stelligan campus, killing a Stelligan student as well as a lecturer. So, several other individuals have been severely injured. The authorities are investigating. This is an unspeakable tragedy, Stelligan President Hopkins said during the press conference that took place this morning. In light of the recent events, it is impossible to maintain daily routine. This is why I've decided to suspend all educational services of Stelligan University until further notice. Therefore, Stelligan campus will remain closed, at least for the rest of the week, with no educational courses or events taking place. If we go to notable alumni, what do we... Alumni are people who have graduated from the college, from the university. Oh, here we go. This is interesting. We have a couple of suspects here. Catherine Delacroix. She's the Minister of Security, Secretary of Security. This is the boyfriend of Cassandra. Okay, it doesn't tell us much though. Oh, here we go. So Goldfels has retired. Media ethics. Let's click on this. Here we go. We found his profile. Being a luminary in his profession, being a luminary means you're like really smart and well respected in your profession. Abraham Goldfels, we got his full name. So he wasn't really trying to hide, he was using his last name. Okay. Bradley accepted the offer of professorship in the field of media ethics at Stelligan, from which he sadly retired in fall of 2016. So that's around when he said in the blog he was quitting. Did you notice the bombing locations seem to be closely connected to thought? There could be a pattern emerging. Thought has held 3 demonstrations, yet there have only been 2 bombings, which might imply, well, it's definitely a shot in the dark. A shot in the dark means like a wild guess. Like, I'm not sure, it's a guess. But we absolutely need to do everything we can to prevent another attack. Take a close look at the past of each member with thought. Find out the locations of all demos they have held. This might yield a hint. Previously, Professor Goldfels has held a position as a journalist at Der Reporter. This is in German. One of the most renowned German daily newspapers. So he used to be a journalist. And was also chairman of the Global Media Ethics Congress. In his work, Professor Goldfels never relents to emphasize the importance of privacy over public interest. Chairman of an ethics congress. Just the average run-of-the-mill terrorist trait. Okay. Here's his publications of significance. So when professors and people in academia typically publish stuff like written creative works, he wrote a book called "The Thoughts Are Free: A Modern Time Declaration of Independence Towards Mass Surveillance," named after that song. Well, what do you say to that? He literally wrote the book. Yeah, so that's kind of a pun. So in English, we have to say someone wrote the book on something means that they, it's another way to say they're the architect of something. If they wrote the book on it, it means they're an expert on it. They created it. If you wrote a book about math, it's because you're really good at math. But it's an expression. It usually isn't literal. To say when someone wrote the book on it, it doesn't mean that they literally wrote a book about it. It means that just they're an expert on it, and they have invented things that helped with that field. I guess a good example would be saying like Albert Einstein wrote the book on theoretical physics. Like he didn't literally write a book about them. He might have, but what that means is he wrote the rules. He discovered a lot of stuff. In this case, it's literal, so he's saying it's a pun because he actually literally did write a book. Wow, that's a whole lot of information about this Goldfels, yet only one other page could be indexed. Very strange indeed. I think the next course of action should be to look for other people of this thought group, like the students he mentioned. Yep. Gotta find these students. ISUCL attendee list. I don't know what this stands for. It's an abbreviation of some kind. Oh, here we go. Internal Stelligen University Class Attendee System. So we're looking for... So in the United States, we separate the year into 2 semesters. So we got the... Usually it's fall and spring. So these are winter and summer. So I don't know why that's different. Typically a fall semester starts just after summer ends. So in August for the US, and then runs until December. And then the spring semester starts in January and runs until summer. I guess they also, I don't know, summer, and then there are summer semesters, but they are usually extra classes because the summer is shorter. Let's click on one of these. We remember he was a media. So I chose winter semester because it was the fall, I think, when he quit. Let's select media. I don't see his name here. Bennett, McMillan, Mills. No, so this isn't right. We need to find maybe the summer semester media. Here we go. Goldfels. Here's a list of his students that attended it. 24 attendees in class number 58332. Here's their grade. So your grade in the US, A is the best, F is the worst. D would be pretty bad. And then grade failed, as in you didn't even graduate. Oh, here we go. Juliet Carrington. This is one of the friends of Cassandra. Grade A, a very good student, a grade A student. You may have heard that term. That's what it refers to. A is the highest grade you can get. Master's thesis, Rosen's Tech 10 Commands. Pillars of Success or just PR trickery. Registered at this course. Okay, let's add this. Juliet Carrington is one of the students. We have seen this name before, haven't we? Right, she was a friend of Miss Watergate. Now it also appears that she was a student of Abraham Goldfels. I think that's enough to warrant a report. Give me a few minutes. All right, we have authorization to investigate Miss Carrington. So we can investigate Carrington now. So we have another profile. Harrison Donnell, guest. So when someone is a guest student, it means that they were sitting in on the class. They were in the class, but they weren't a student. They were just looking at the lectures. So they're not there for a grade. They didn't pay. They're just there to look at the lectures. So they're not getting credit for the course. Harrison O'Donnell. Yes, we've seen that name connected to Miss Watergate. I'll report this right away. We have been authorized to consider Harrison O'Donnell as a target person. Now there's some more work for you. Congrats. Okay, so now we have Harrison O'Donnell and Juliet. Well done. Okay, I think we're done here. Before we go on to their timelines, let's look at what this listener thing is. Yeah, okay. Cassandra Watergate is texting her boyfriend, Joseph Langley, who's also her lawyer. Hey, you. I'm sorry about last night. I really should have come over. So he doesn't seem to know that she's been arrested. It's just that this client is massively influential and could bring a whole lot of exposure to the office. I've been trying to get a meeting for months and it went rather well, so here's hoping. So she probably can't text back because she doesn't have her phone because she's under arrest. God, I'm such a stupid old man who just talks about his job too much. I'm sorry, it's just a big part of my life. Hello, are you still upset? Cassie, can you at least answer me? If you don't, I'll start to worry. You know what I'm like. Okay, so he's seems to be unaware that she's been arrested. Okay. Let's start with Harrison. Okay, so we need to go to Harrison's profile. Here's a picture of him. Media punk is his occupation. Media punk? What does that even mean? It doesn't really mean anything. Oh, he's cleaning up his posts. They've been deleted. Do we have something to hide then, Mr. O'Donnell? So he's deleting all of his posts. So we don't know what he said, but we can... Cassandra replied, is everything all right with you? And there's another emoji going like, are you okay? And then he said, now it is good effing riddance. What's this? Conflict with an unknown data chunk. Okay, so we don't know what that's about. It's a picture of him with Juliet Carrington, the other student. She has a guitar in this photo, which I think is his guitar. She seems to be standing on the stage while they're playing. There's an audience of people in the background. This couple will rock the show, as it will rock the rest of the goddamn nation. Thank you for taking me along. Honestly, I don't think that I would be welcomed so warmly, nor that my humble skills would be worth me coming along. If you've got it, flaunt it. And you definitely got it, baby. So to have it is, it means that you're really good at something. And sometimes people say, if you got it, flaunt it. Flaunt it means to like show it off. So like if you're really good at something, tell everybody, show everybody. Pulling the strings of a fancy guitar in the spotlights on stage suits you well and makes you look even more awesome. So she's their guitar player. Thank you, Mikey. Guess I should have pursued that musical career before even beginning my studies. Study is giving me headaches at the moment. Thank God it'll all be over soon. So she's about to graduate. Mike, why don't you just go ask Juliet out right away, huh? No need for hiding anything. I can provide a nose correction just for you to make you look as awesome. Just as awesome. You want that? No? Then off you... This doesn't make any grammatical sense. No? Then off you F? I think he's trying to say like F off, like, which means like get out of here. And it's a really crass and vulgar way to say get out of here. Like, leave us alone. So he's jealous of this guy, Mike Hutchinson, who I don't know if that's if they're part of the band or I don't know what. Let's add that. Easily jealous. Yep. Harry, calm down a bit, will you? I don't think Mike meant to be flirty. At Mike, sorry, Harry went a little bit over the top there. Okay, I don't think any of that is relevant. I'll leave it up if you want to pause the video and read it. Okay. We had a conflicting data chunk here, but we need to, I think, look at Juliet's timeline first. How do we go back here? Nope, that is not the button. Juliet, here's her profile. Profile picture. PR assistant at Rosentech. So she works for Rosentech. We saw the article earlier where Rosentech is combining with timelines. Birthday, February 92. Place of residence, Fairview. Actually, that's probably Farview. She likes guitar, singing, books, board games. Picture of her with Cassandra. You actually can dance, and I got proof now. Is that really me? I gotta be careful around you, apparently. Great photo, though. Who took it? Nice try, Jules. A magician never reveals her tricks. She's not gonna say who took it. Anyway, thanks for a great time, Cassie. I must admit it felt good, kinda good to go all out for once. Not that I plan on doing that again anytime soon. Adam Dunbar. What? Every time I ask you out, you're so goddamn busy and then you fall for freaking muffins? If I ever had known that before. Sorry, Adam. Maybe you need to spy on me some more. Oh, I see. So there's a muffin thing here. These are muffins. They're like a breakfast treat. Breakfast food. I am bored to death tonight and definitely need someone to come along. Here, Julesy, I got something for you. So to be bored to death means you're so bored that you're literally gonna die. That's what it means. Oh no, my one weakness exposed for everyone to see. Okay, tell me, what must I do to get one of those? I'm prepared for the worst. She likes muffins. Just go out with me and explore Bonton's famous nightlife, will you? Blink's big eyes. This lady really, like, these are super cringy ways to talk online. You got a message, Cassie. Need this recipe for my mom. This is message, this is shortened. Yuck. You know I'm not so keen on going out late night. So going out late night means like going out at night. Plus I don't dance ever. Care to spare me, please? She does not like going out. Okay. But it's okay. I fully understand you. I think we will spend the evening. I will then spend the evening in bed, watch movies, and eat a hell of a lot of muffins out of frustration. All right, you win. I'll be there in half an hour. That torture and cruelty by my friend. Now, where is Amnesty International when you actually need them? So they're joking around. Torture? Is that correct? What? Wow. This only underlines her assessment as potentially dangerous from yesterday. Okay, this guy, he thinks that this is obviously a joke, but whatever. She's not actually torturing her. We are the Carringtons. What is this? Okay, so this is appears to be a family website of the Carringtons. These are her parents. I don't think a lot of this is relevant. I'm gonna not read it all. I will leave it up here just for a second so you can pause the video if you want to read it. But this is basically just a how the parents met story. We got April McIntyre Carrington. This hyphenated last name here. This happens when people get married, but in the U.S. it's tradition to change. The woman changes her name to match her husband's name, but sometimes they don't. They just combine the two names. So her last name is Carrington and her husband's name is McIntyre, and they just hyphenated them together. Here, in case you want to read that. I don't think it's relevant. May Carrington, another sister. June Carrington, another sister. And then here's our suspect, Juliet Carrington. We have the exact birth date. Her favorite color is red. I don't know if that's really that relevant. Okay, I like a joke as much as the next person. But her favorite color, do you really think that is pertinent information right now? This is an active bomb threat right now. Could you please focus on that? Playing the guitar, I'm going to add it. This might make him mad again. Favorite food, banana nut muffins. I don't know how relevant that is. Yum. If we fail to prevent the next assault due to you processing random data, I won't be taking the fall. So to take the fall means to take the blame. To be blamed for something. Favorite book or movie, To Kill a Mockingbird. You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view. That's a quote from To Kill a Mockingbird. Until you climb inside of his skin and walk around in it. Harper Lee, To Kill a Mockingbird. Harper Lee is the author of To Kill a Mockingbird. I actually read that one. Great book. Since the nestling of the family showed up a little bit unexpectedly, the parents of Jonathan and Esther decided that they would end the strictness of naming patterns their daughters had followed in favor of a slight aberration. So they're all named after months, it looks like. April, May, June. But then she's not named July, she's named Juliet. This is implying, so the nestling of a family is the youngest member of a family, the youngest child. And it's implied that she was an unexpected baby, so they weren't planning on having another child. So her parents are Jonathan and Esther. Okay. They decided they would end the strictness of naming pattern their sisters had followed in favor of a slight aberration. An aberration is a mistake, or like it's like a blur, kind of like an aberration. It refers to like on a camera lens. It's like a little dot on a camera that's like causing like the light to not go through it correctly. Probably not explaining that very well, but it's like an imperfection. Juliet learned to play the guitar, even developed the plan to become a professional musician in a band. However, she decided to end her band career once she was single again and focus on her studies of media economy at Stellan University. So this is the conflicting data chunk. Is she in a relationship or not? Is she dating this guy or not? When did she start going to... How does he back up here? When did she start going to college? Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. Nobody took notice, nobody cares, nobody. So a typical like emotional post. I see this a lot on Facebook. What did Harry do this time? Geez, as much as I like him, you really need to ditch him. So at this point, December 19th, 2016, they're still together. Maybe people would care if you would be, I don't know, less enigmatic. So enigmatic means you're being like vague or cryptic. You're not saying exactly what's happening. You're just being dramatic. So 1 week left until I have to enter my thesis at Abraham's course, and then it's goodbye Stella again. I'm a bit scared of the huge gaping hole this is going to leave behind. So she graduated in November or late September, and she was still dating, what's his name, Harrison O'Donnell at that point in December. So she's not single? Hard to tell. This drives me outright mad. Even though Cassandra and I just got to know each other at the protest at Freedom Plaza, she stood up for me regardless. This woman is a heroine, not a terrorist. Go Cassie. So they met at the Freedom Plaza, the protest. Someone said, Rick Denton says, if one pisses off the government, that means to makes the government mad. One must expect them to respond accordingly. Action causes reaction. That simple-mindedness. Rolls eyes. Rolls eyes is literally like, oh, brother, like that, like, Also, this doesn't sound like the Juliet I know. You wouldn't even accept the duty of being the class representative when you were appointed. How come you care so much about politics now? So she didn't always care about politics. First Miss Watergate, now her. Is there some sort of brainwashing going on? Yeah, it seems to be related to this Harrison O'Donnell character, if I had to guess. I'm not surprised you stand up for your beliefs underneath you're a strong one. But activism, attending demonstrations, is that still you? So to be underneath it all basically means like you hide your true identity, but underneath everything you're hiding, that's who you really are. Sometimes people change their minds. Sometimes other people help to get the right mindset. Find out what you truly care about. This is about our freedom, and I know what it feels like to not be free. What would you want me to do instead? Sit at home being indifferent? To be indifferent means like you don't care. You're like, it doesn't matter to me. Indifferent? No. I just do not I see no use in occupying public plazas and throwing stones at poor men and women. This is a democracy. We have petitions for that. And then Harrison O'Donnell, out of nowhere. I'm so proud of you that you're capable of using the essential tool of any good slacktivist. Hell, I would like to post a really slow clapping sound, but timelines doesn't allow it. So freaking imagine if you can. Harry, while I truly appreciate that you've got my back and everything, I don't think you need to intervene here. This is a Rick and Juliet only thing. Thank you. So, a slacktivist is a term for someone who, they're an activist online. They're like, free the whales, don't kill the whales, but they don't actually do anything besides that. They slack off. To slack off is to be lazy. It's to just like sit there like I don't do anything. So it's a combination of two words: slacker and activist. A slacker is someone who doesn't do anything, and an activist is someone who does something. Put them together as a slacktivist. It's a relatively uncommon word, but you do hear it sometimes. And he's defending her, and then she says, "Don't defend me. I don't need your help." Interesting. So, So on July 5th they were dating, but it looks like if you go to her profile, they broke up around in December. So I'm gonna go to here and put in that she's single because I don't think they're dating anymore. So let's put this in. I believe she's single. Okay. We got a little bit of time left. Let's look at the band. This is the band, the website of the band, The Targets, which I believe this Harrison O'Donnell person is part of. This is literally a target, like a target you shoot at or an arrow at. That's a target. We are the track you are ashamed of in your fine-tuned playlist. A track is a song. The unexplainable gap in your seemingly flawless CV. Your CV is your list of jobs you've had. I think it's a Latin term. I think it's like curriculum vitae or something. I mean, that was totally wrong, but it's a Latin term. No one knows what it means. CV, though, you know what it means. Your drunken selfie in your timeline profile. The porn movie found on your work computer. Okay. You cannot avoid us because we are you. We are the targets. This is very edgy, very punk, how this is written. They're saying that they're the worst thing about you. Here they are. We got a new portrait. Let's go back to Harrison's profile. He's the vocals and guitar for the band The Targets. And his name is Hancock. So maybe that might be a profile handle somewhere. Oh, that's quite an ego we've got there, haven't we? So Yeah. Former members. Trotsky. Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. These are names of famous like revolutionaries. So John Hancock was one of the person who wrote the Constitution. Literally, he didn't like. He helped write it. He literally scribed it, but he didn't like write it. Obviously, the founding fathers did, but he was one of them. He signed it. His signature on the Declaration. Sorry, not the Constitution. The Declaration. He signed the Declaration in a really big font, and so even to this day, you sometimes have people refer to signatures when they sign their name as a John Hancock. Danton, I'm not sure about, but Fidel Castro, revolutionary leader in Cuba. Trotsky was a revolutionary in Russia, I believe, or maybe like even pre-Russia. And Juliet Tubman. She has so Harriet Tubman was a revolutionary during the Civil War who saved a lot of slaves from the South. So she goes by Tubman. So these are all people who they're named after revolutionary figures. Let's look at their gigs. A gig is a date where you play a show. So if you have a gig at the bar, it means you're going to play at the bar. Looks like their upcoming show in a week is canceled. Interesting. So it was canceled, this gig. Canceled. And then here's some comments. A friend of mine claims to have heard that Hancock decided to quit the band. Okay. So they're saying that Harrison O'Donnell quit the band. What? And now the whole thing got canceled? What's going on? Such a shame that Tubman left again. So she's left before? Okay. Are there any other gigs to look at? Oh, here's the gig where they took a picture together. So she was a new member, Tubman, in July of last year, and now has quit. Wow, that was catharsis. Okay, here, this is a comment written by Cassandra. Wow, that was such a blaze. That's not really a term. Such a blaze. It is true that if you want to say something is really cool, a lot of younger kids say that was fire, which means it was like really cool, it was really hot. I understand that it sounds weird to say something is cool and to say something is hot, and they mean the same thing, but it's just what it is. I think it comes from because when we say some person is hot, it means we think they're attractive, and it kind of morphed into like anything is hot, it's cool. If you say like this new song is hot, it means it's cool, it's popular. And then that turned into fire, so saying this new song is fire, it means the same thing. It's pretty confusing. Really love your new guitarist Tress. We'll definitely come to the Freedom Plaza demo. Just have to get to know Juliet, especially since she's the one organizing this. So this conflicts with something. With an unknown thing. So let's keep looking. Doesn't look like there's anything here. Okay, those were the only 3 gigs, so not sure there. Let's go to their albums. These are albums or collections of songs that are usually released on a disc, or used to be anyways. They're released on like Spotify now and Apple Music. With more and more poverty in the streets, it's about time for the capitalists to finally recognize them as a viable target group. It's time for an advertisement for the poor. Out now. Listen to Pipe Dreams. Well, does this let us play it? Pipe dreams refers to a dream that's very unlikely to happen. So like you have a kid and he says, I want to be in the NBA. I want to play professional basketball. That would be a pipe dream because it's extremely unlikely to occur. Can we play it? Sounds like a punk song. Okay, we'll stop that for now. Even don't worry if you couldn't understand what he was saying. I really couldn't understand it either. Punk music is like that on purpose. It's noisy and grating because their message is also grating and not easy to listen to, so it kind of mimics the message. We got a contact here, a private email address. We maybe can hack that and get into his email. Excellent. You will not have access to any emails coming in or out of this account. Okay. I don't see anything else here that links us to, because we got this, but it's conflicting with something which I don't know about. So I'm not going to add that yet. Okay. There's still a lot of more stuff to look at, but this video is getting kind of long. So we're going to stop there for now. But yep, we seem to be onto something here with this guy, Harrison O'Donnell. He's definitely up to something, because it seems like everybody he's met, Juliet and Cassandra, have wound up involved in the bombings. So possibly he's involved as well. But yeah, I guess we'll find out next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.